Every single evening across Lagos, the same sound fills the air. It is not music. It is not laughter. It is the roar of millions of generators coming to life as darkness falls. If you live in Lagos, you know this reality all too well. You have budgeted more for diesel and petrols than for your children's school fees. You have watched small businesses shut down because they simply cannot afford to run I pass my neighbor generators all day. You have felt the frustrations of a hospital going down or dark in the middle of a surgery, a barber losing customers, a welder unable to work, and a food vendor watching frozen food get spoiled. For decades, the story of Lagos and electricity has been one of the endless promises and endless darkness. A city of over 20 million people, the economic engine of West Africa, has been running on noise, smoke, and fuel that eats deep into every pocket. But here is a number that should shock you. Lagos, a megacity generating a huge chunk of Nigeria's economy, receives only about 1,000 megawatts of power from the national grid on a good day. To put that in perspective, cities smaller than Lagos in other parts of the world enjoy 5 to 10 times that amount. We have been trying to power a giant with the electricity meant for a small town. That era is finally coming to an end. The Lagos state government has stopped waiting for the national grid to fix itself. Instead, it has taken its power destiny into its own hands with a bold, aggressive plan to generate electricity independently, right here inside the state. Welcome to Femco Property, your home for real estate investments in Nigeria for Nigerians all over the world. Today, we are breaking down the Lagos Power Plant project. We are going to look at exactly what is being built, how the 2,000 megawatts GE Vernova deal, the Victoria Island embedded plant, the EcoAtlantic independent grid are set to change everything, and why this is one of the biggest quiet revolutions happening in Lagos right now. Let's get into it. You may ask why Lagos decided to take power into its own hands. To understand how big this project is, you first need to understand why it became necessary. For years, electricity in Nigeria was controlled almost entirely by the federal government. States could complain, states could beg, but they could not generate and distribute their own power at scale. Everyone was tied to one struggling national grid, a grid that has collapsed multiple times, sometimes plunging the entire country into total blackouts in a single day. In 2023, the Electricity Act was signed into law. The new law finally allowed individual states to make their own electricity laws, generate their own power, and manage their own distributions. Lagos wasted no time. The state passed its own Lagos State Electricity Law, creating the framework for a Lagos-controlled power market. This was the turning point. For the first time, Lagos was legally free to solve its own darkness problem without waiting for Abuja. And Lagos has a clear target. The state is not just trying to add a little more power. Under Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration and championed by the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, Lagos set an ambitious goal to generate several thousands megawatts of stable, reliable, independent electricity within the coming years. The strategy rests on 3 powerful pillars. Let's break each one of them down. Pillar 1, the 2,000 megawatts GE Vernova integration. This is the crown jewel of the entire plan. Lagos State has partnered with the GE Vernova, a global leader spun off from General Electric, to inject an additional 2,000 megawatts of electricity into the state. To put that in perspective, this is roughly double what Lagos receives from the national grid on its best day. Instead of waiting a decade to build new plants from scratch, This strategy focuses on speed and recovery. GE Vernova is using its technology and technical muscles to upgrade and revive existing, underused, or stranded power infrastructure across the region that has been sitting idle due to poor gas supply or broken transmission networks. The project taps directly into Nigeria's massive natural gas reserve, turning wasted gas into a clean, steady power supply. Once fully integrated, this 2,000 megawatts boost will provide homes, heavy industries, and businesses across Lagos with a level of reliable electricity the state has never seen before. Pillar 2, the Victoria Island Embedded Power Plant. Now let's zoom in from the bigger picture to a very strategic, targeted solution. The Victoria Island Embedded Power Plant is a 30 megawatt facility designed to serve one of the most important commercial districts in all of Africa, Victoria Island. Now, you may be thinking, 30 megawatts sounds small compared to 2,000, and you will be right. But this is where you need to understand the smart concept called embedded generation. Here is what that means in a simple term. Instead of generating power far away and pushing it through hundreds of kilometers of weak transmission lines, where a huge amount of electricity is lost along the way, an embedded power plant generates power right inside the community itself. Victoria Island is the beating heart of Nigeria's economy. It is home to banks, multinational company headquarters, luxury hotels, embassies, high-end restaurants, and thousands of businesses. Every single hour of darkness in Victoria Island cost the economy millions in diesel and lost productivity. By placing a dedicated 30 megawatt plant right inside this district, the power is generated close to where it is consumed. That means far less energy is wasted. The supply is far more stable, and businesses can finally reduce or even climate their crippling independence on generators. This is a model that works. When it succeeds in Victoria Island, it becomes a blueprint that can be repeated in other high-end commercial and industrial clusters across Lagos, from Ikeja to Apapa or even Lekki. Pillar 3, the Eco-Atlantic City Independent Grid. This third pillar is where Lagos shows the world what the future looks like. Eco-Atlantic City is that massive futuristic city being built on land reclaimed from the Atlantic Ocean. Right next to Victoria Island, it is designed to be a world-class business and residential district, a Dubai-style development rising out of the sea. And the world-class city cannot afford to sit and wait for the same unreliable grid that has failed everyone else. So, Eco-Atlantic is being powered by its own completely independent electricity grid. This is a self-sustained power system built specifically for the city, managed within the city, and separate from the troubled national grid. It is designed to deliver constant, uninterrupted 24-hour electricity to every home, office, and facility inside Eco-Atlantic. This is exactly how the most advanced cities in the world operate. Power is treated as a foundation, not an afterthought. When residents and businesses know they will have stable electricity every single day without a single generator, the value of that location skyrockets. The Eco-Atlantic Independent Grid proves an important point. The solution to Nigeria's power problem is not one single giant grid, but many smart, reliable, localized systems working together. This is the modern approach, and Lagos is leading the way. Now, here is the beautiful part. These three projects are not competing with each other. They are three pieces of one mastered strategy. The 2,000 megawatt GE Vernova integration is a heavy backbone. The large-scale power feeds the entire state. The Victoria Island Embedded Plant is the targeted solution. delivering dedicated, stable power to critical economic zone. And the ekoatlantic independent grid is the future model, showing how brand new communities can be built with guaranteed 24-hour electricity from day one. Together, they represent a shift in thinking. Lagos is no longer just a helpless victim of the national grid. It is building its own energy independence layer by layer. Now, let's talk about what all this really means for the economy, for businesses, and for the property market. Because when you fix electricity, you fix almost everything. Number one, the death of the generator economy. Nigerians spend billions of dollars every single year on generators, diesel and petrol, just to keep the lights on. That is money burned into smoke and noise. Stable public power means factories can run at full capacity, small businesses can grow, and families can save the money they were pouring into fuel. That saved money circulates back into the local economy. Number two, attracting real investment. No serious manufacturer or global company wants to set up in a city where they must build their own power plants just to operate. Reliable electricity is the number one thing that attracts industrial investment. As Lagos secures stable power, more factories, tech companies, and multinationals will choose to plant their roots here, creating thousands of jobs in the process. Number three, property values follows power. Here is the lesson every property investor must understand. Electricity is infrastructure, and wealth always follows infrastructure. Areas with guaranteed stable power becomes instantly more desirable. Look at ekoatlantic. Part of the reasons its property commands premium prices is that constant electricity is built into the promise. As embedded plants and reliable grid spread to areas like Victoria Island, Lekki, and beyond, the property in those zones becomes far more valuable. Homes with stable power rent faster and sell higher. Commercial spaces with 24-hour electricity attract better tenants at better rates. The investor who understands where stable power is coming next positions himself exactly where the value is about to rise. For too long, Lagos has been a giant running on generators. A city with world-class ambitions held back by darkness. But that story is being rewritten. With the 2,000 megawatt GE Vernova integration, the Victoria Island embedded plant, and the ekoatlantic independent grid, Lagos is finally building a future where electricity is stable, reliable, and locally controlled. This is more than a power project. It is the foundation for a new economy, one where businesses thrive, industries grow, and families finally breathe without the roar of a generator in the background. And for property investors, the lesson is exactly the same as it always has been. Wealth follows infrastructure. When power becomes stable in an area, the value of everything in that area rises. The people who position themselves early before the transformation is complete are the ones who capture the greatest returns. At Femco Property, we track these shifts carefully so you can make informed, data-backed decisions. Whether you are living in Lagos or investing from the diaspora, understanding where the state is directing its energy and its billions is your ultimate unfair advantage. If you found this breakdown valuable, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bells so you never miss the development that moves the market. What are your thoughts on Lagos finally solving its power problem? Do you believe these projects will truly end the darkness? Drop your comments below. We read and reply to every single one. See you on the next one. Eko ni baje o.